Welcome everyone on today's Metal3 Community meeting. My name is Adam Rosman. I will be your host, and today is the 12th of June, 2024. And we can skip the introductions and continue on the reminders. Please remember that the meeting is recorded. Feel free to filter for help wanted labels on the whole Metal3 Bio project level. And you will be able to find quite a lot of these and good first issue labels, and feel free to pick any of those, and that by implementing or solving those problems, that would help the project move forward quite a bit. If anyone feels that their organization would benefit from adding itself as an adopter, then feel free to do so. You can do it by modifying the adopters.md file in the root of the community repository, and just follow the pattern that the others used. Yeah, that would be also a big help. Recently, there was quite a lot of movement in our CI, and there is still happening, and there are a lot of effort going into tracking and fixing the issues, especially for older release branches. And if you feel that you have some consistent issue with the CI, your PR is not passing. For example, one of my PRs was not passing CI job for a whole weekend and a bit after that, but now it was fixed. If you are in such an issue or such a situation, then please feel to create a issue in the affected repository, and feel free to add the flaky test, or it would be actually a requirement to add the flaky test label to the title, and also link the issue to the Metal3 CI tracker project, and that would help us track this issue among the many others that are present with the CI. Other than that, please feel free to check out all the other links for if you're interested in statistics or the deliverables or the landscape plans, incubation proposal. I have seen actually, we haven't discussed it, but recently there was some traffic on our incubation proposal received from both Reddit and from Ericsson, one person respectively, ping the TOC, and we still don't have any info. I don't know if there was any back channel discussion between maintainers and the TOC, but it's just complete silence. I don't know what's going on, but it's more than half a year now and zero feedback. Interesting. I hope this will be sorted out at some point, but it would be nice to at least get some approximate deadline, at least for the start of the due diligence process. But yeah, we can just hope for the best. Yeah. Other than that, we have one reminder, and that's just I had an internal discussion related to this provider ID that I brought up as a topic a few weeks ago, and I'm carrying it over to the new meetings. And from our side, it is confirmed that we can get rid of the old provider IDs. There are only 4 of us here in the meeting, so we again won't decide the plan or the timetable for removing this support for the old legacy format. But feel free to, if you have any free time, just check out the link and the test examples and share your thoughts. Yeah. So that's all related to that, and then we can continue with the community working group updates if you have no questions related to the reminders.
Was the provider ID a database field that was used earlier and now the design has been changed?
No. It didn't change recently. It has changed a long time ago, a few years ago even, because the old ID wasn't supporting all the use cases. So it was a long time ago, and then there was some duplicate provider ID checking implemented, and then now one of our team member implemented a lot of unit tests for that, because back in the days that wasn't done, and it's just because of this we started to think that do we even need the old. I don't even remember when we started to support the new format. It has been at least 2 years, no, even more.
Oh, okay, I see. Thanks. So has the old one not been removed completely because of backward compatibility?
Yeah, basically.
Oh, okay.
So until now, and even still, we don't we support both basically. So both works. Even the mix of the two mostly works. So,
All
but
right, okay.
but then if you check the amount of tests that just for checking, like this is just for the duplicate checking, so checking that some ID is duplicated or not, just for that's the amount of unit tests that's needed, and that's because we have the two formats.
Yeah, yeah, okay. Do we have any plans for when we can at least deprecate the old one, you know?
Yeah, so that's what I try to approach slowly. That's why I had the discussion that at least with our downstream that we don't need support for it. So that I already confirmed. Um, I will probably write an email just to the mailing list and ask people that come forward if they still have a use case for that. Uh, and then we will see when someone has time, or we will see when we can start removing it. So I don't expect anyone to come forward, because that wasn't much discussion about this feature for a long time. So not sure if anyone is still using the old formats. But yeah, one thing I will do is send a mail.
All right. Thanks, sounds good.
Yep.
I think for this, what we can do is that we can introduce or remove this in the next minor release and add it as a breaking change. And I think that should work. It's just a user change that needs to be done here. And we will remove the code.
You think, okay, it's not too fast? I think it's fine.
Yeah, of course, after your email, if we find someone who is still using it, which I hope not, then of course we can just add a notice in the next minor release that we will be removing it, and then probably the next one where we remove it. So whichever way is preferable.
Yeah, I would, in any case, Kashif, I would go for doing it in two-step. Just first have a deprecation notice in the release, and then on the next. Either way, this is usually I see these things.
Yep, I'm okay with that as well.
Yeah, I just note down. Next minor, and then the next. Yeah, this is I think reasonable. That first, like we do it in 2 releases. Yeah, should be fine. Let's see. I will send the mail as soon as I can. Okay, is there any other questions related to anything, any topic that was mentioned during the reminders as a reminder? Yeah, if nothing, then we can continue with the community working group updates. I think from Iron Scalability, there is no one who is actively working on it in the meeting right now. I know that the fake IPA is still in review, and I know that Mohammed is also working on another Iron related topic. So I don't know how much focus that gets at the moment. And then I think that the other topic is the release team. And yeah, I think this is your cue, Ricardo.
Yeah, so just the first one is the announcement that we have a new ironic image release, 25.0.0, which is like pin to the ironic bug fix release 25.0 that just came out last week. And the second thing, it's actually related to the maintenance of the ironic image releases. So apparently we're going to maintain more than 2-3 ironic image releases, or at least it's not going to be as linear as expected. So there's a discussion in that project infra PR 786 with Tuomo, who's actually explained the reasoning in terms of support, because of course he made me notice that CapN3 is still using release 23.1 since CapN3 1.5 is in the tested status. So we're probably going to like skip 25.0 since again the support is not linear, it's not like one-to-one. Whenever we actually the plan was slightly different as far as I remember in terms of support, in terms of how BMO is tied to the ironic image. But we can rediscuss that and see how that evolves. And yeah, that's all. I don't know if you have any thoughts about that. Not sure like we can do a lot unless we like drop support for some of the ironic image releases at this point. And in CapN3 1.5, yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I might disagree with Tuomo here because, yeah, we still support the 1.5 for CapM3, but that does not necessarily mean that we have to support the CI for the ironic image 23.1. Like what support means for that is that we would backport things to that ironic image.
Yeah, there's one big point here is that when we talked about the ironic image releases, I think it was clear that the bug fix branches are not supported for longer than 6 months.
Yeah.
So that means that anything that is older than 6 months in the ironic image is like deprecated, not tested, maybe not working. We don't really know because, well, we don't care anymore upstream at least. So yeah, I mean, I don't think it makes sense to keep the CI up, but it depends. Maybe there's a fix in the ironic image that you want to backport there.
Yeah, it's actually something that we should discuss with a bigger group. My first hunch would have been that we wouldn't need it because like the CAPM3 and the Ionic are very far removed from each other, and they have no common build dependencies. So I cannot really foresee a situation where in order to fix something in CAPM3, we would need to backport something to the Ionic image. Yeah, it's just like not the same languages. They just communicate like remotely with each other, but even that is happening indirectly. Yeah,
I mean, there's no rush, of course, in like removing any release or anything. I think we should just make clear for the future how we want to move forward in terms of support, in terms of how the different elements are tied together.
Yeah.
Because again, if something goes wrong in the Ironic image, like because of Ironic, like an Ironic bug or something, well, I don't think we're going to backport anything into 23.1 because that is not supported anymore upstream. Again, that was made clear in the first discussion. So
yeah, I agree with you. I mean, it as you are saying, like it doesn't really matter that we want to keep it in a MetaCube CI support for this or not because there is no support upstream for it. So it's like
yes, at least not for Ironic in the Ironic side. Then
yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. So.
So what are we actually trying to do here? Are we updating the support from 24.1 or 23.1 to 24 something? I didn't understand this.
No,
So,
it's go on.
So we just released the Ironic image 25.0, and that means that now we have 4 Ironic image releases between 23.1 and 25.0. So 23.1, 24, 24.1, and 25. The main problem here is that 23.1 is based on a bug fix. So there are 2 things. The first one is that we agreed to support only like 2, maximum 3 releases of Ironic image. Consider that 23.1 is something like a year old, something like that. And also, since 23.1 is based on a bug fix branch of Ironic upstream, it means that that branch is not maintained anymore. So any bug fix that we have in Ironic, they will not go into that branch. So it's really not supported in Ironic upstream. And well, the CAPM3 1.5, which is based on 23.1, is still tested on the tested status. So in theory, there's some kind of discrepancy.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine because also for us, we are not going to actually do any changes in 1.5 in CAPM3 as well. We have recently just discovered a bug in CAPM3 1.5, and it's not actually a bug, but if it is tested, we go 1.22, it's going to break because it's using a very old controller runtime. Not very old, but yeah, there is some nil pointer issue in that version of controller runtime. So, but we are not in a position to push any fix for that. So I think it's fine in that sense that we can test it, but we won't be pushing any changes to any of these. My question is rather that should we in the CI test these bug fix branches in future, or shall we just not test and probably just test the actual releases instead of the bug fix branches? What's your opinion on that?
Well, the bug fix branch is just Ironic upstream. It's an Ironic upstream concept, and we don't actually test that unless there is like a very important bug or security issue that we want to fix. We don't even backport stuff there, so it's not really tested at all.
And like Metal Cube releases that you are doing now currently, how can I identify if a release is bug fix or not? Is it this .1 and .0 which is, or is it
So
just a patch version?
it's usually you can check in the Docker file, you will see the version of Ironic which corresponds to the branch. If you go into the Ironic image repository in the Docker file, you have the Ironic version, and that points to a specific branch.
Okay.
You will see if it's a bug fix or if it's a stable, or if it's nothing, then it's master.
Okay. Yeah, probably then we should also think about what we need to test in our CI as well on those front. Probably that is something that we need to also discuss once we discuss the support. Because support and test are two different things. Support is where we are supporting the branches, where test is where what are we testing in at least our CI. So probably we need to discuss that as well.
Yeah, but I have quite a strong opinion about this, so I don't really see an issue here. Even like I think that when we released when we paired the 23.1 with the 1.5, that's fine. That's what was validated against the 1.5. And if in the meantime time goes by and the 23.1 goes out of support because it's just old now, then my opinion is we just keep the CI, just keep on our like the MetaCube and just keep the tests for that for build, because we need the CI to test if the image build is doable. So there could be any sort of deprecation with packages in the distro and whatnot. So it's just there. At least it tests the image build capability if we need to do some modifications to the image. And then we would just have two possibilities. So when it goes out of support, we can just declare it that look the image that the ironic in the ironic image for this specific release is no longer supported. And if in a scenario when we need to backport something that would affect the ironic, or we would need a newer ironic for the older CapM3, then that would result, in my opinion, in a patch release of CapM3 and then pinning another ironic image for it. So yeah, I wouldn't really overthink this or complicate it more than
Actually, we don't paint ironic in CapM3 at all. The pinning is coming from BMO. It actually depends on what version of BMO we are testing with CapM3. That's what's dependent on ironic.
Yeah, right. But then that's what I mean, that whatever components, downstream components, downstream to CapM3 needs to change, then we have to release a patch release, and then use that.
There's one more issue that I realize now about the IPA downloader. So the Ironic Python agent is actually it's never pinned, so we constantly use master for that.
Yep.
That means that the build that we're using for the Ironic Python agent is absolutely not tested with anything that is older than 6 months because it's on master.
Yep.
So it can potentially break very bad.
We actually had this issue at some point, isn't it? Adam, you were pinning it.
We have the capability. So we haven't started this. I remember we have another PR where we have a discussion that we should release or like pin the ironic image and so on.
Yes.
On the MetaCube infrastructure side, we have the capability to store these, pin these, and even build these images. We haven't made the decision to do so. So you are right that nowadays it just pulls the latest IPA. For all these, it's not pinned, and we have everyone knows about that issue. Like I think it's an ironic image issue where we discussed that. if we come to the conclusion, like, or the community decides that there is a need for that, and it seems that there is a need for that, we can extend that support. That we would then start pinning and releasing
The IPA downloader. Yeah.
IPA.
Yeah, that's something actually not too hard to do. And of course, it should be coupled with the ironic image release because like they need to go.
Yeah. Recently, I introduced into the devenv a functionality that on the fly, or not on the fly, but before you would bootstrap a test environment, you can actually customize what to pull with the IPA downloader. And I will show you. And it's a public artifactory where it pulls from.
You mind zooming in a bit?
I will increase the size of So this is externally available, and then we have in here these images and IPA, and we have jobs that constantly build 9-stream IPAs with timestamps and everything, and there is a retention policy and all that in place. You see one was built today, other 2 days ago, and they go back by 2 days, and there are some older pinned ones, but there is a new pin logic that follows, that I was experimenting with, that follows the IPA downloader naming convention. And we can pin IP images here, and this basically has the same name format as the upstream IPA images. So if we agree with you, the community members, that there is a need, then it can be very quickly supported. Like we have everything in place almost for this.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. So I don't know, what do you think? What would be the, because I now see that for multiple direction, this is becoming an issue. So what would be your proposal to decide?
Yeah. I mean, if we need to have a support longer than 6 or 9 months, like 2-3 releases, then we probably need to start pinning IPA as well. If we find a way to instead be like not having long-term support releases, then it's fine. Because it's not just a matter of pinning the ironic Python agent version, but also what I do is try to pin the upper constraints, are basically all the dependencies used by ironic, and you need to pin them because, again, if you use just the master ones, something is going to break at some point. So like there are different things. It's not just IPA or ironic.
But in the ironic image, haven't you pinned the?
I did, yes. I always do.
Yeah. So where else would we need to pin it?
If you go into the ironic image, if you see there's an empty file at the bottom called upper constraints. That is empty in the master branch, but in the main branch. If you go to like 25.0, for example, from here, it's actually populated. These are very specific versions of libraries that are installed for the correspondent bugfix branch.
Yes.
They're just taken from OpenStack. It's nothing really, there's no like magic or anything here. But you need to pin that at the very moment you're pinning the bugfix branch, because you are sure that they work with that.
Yeah. But what I meant is, I know that you are doing this and what's the logic behind it. But what I meant is, where else would we need to pin these?
Oh, that you need to do that also for the ironic Python agent.
Okay.
Whenever you build that, you need to use the upper constraint as constraint when installing that, when building that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think I know. I think there is already like for in the IPA builder there is an environment variable for that, right?
Mhm.
Specifically, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
There should be, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, IPA building. Oh yeah, that's good that it comes up.
Okay.
Because there is so there is how to say it, like a move in the whole CI, and then because of that we are moving out a lot of things from the Nordics into the MetaCube bio, and I am upstreaming here into the MetaCube our IPA downloader everything pipelines, and this will need some time because the Jenkins configs will change because of the CI change, but whoa, there is the IPA builder that we were using that generated the files in that Artifactory that I showed. So this has no releases because it was kind of this hanging thing. It was just there to be an IPA, and you can specify whatever in it, custom elements, everything. So I can add it here, but this is never released. So the way we build them is not, or the way this is handled right now, this is never released. So, but this can generate metadata files for these.
Okay.
So would it be enough if it is just in the metadata file, so that which upper constraint?
Well, so if it's a stable release, then yes. But if it's a bug fix release, you actually need to make a local copy of the upper constraints.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's no correspondency. Because bug fix, again, the bug fix branches are just ironic related. There's nothing else in OpenStack that use that. So there's no pin, there's no release for the upper constraints.
But the IPA
except
has
for
no
stable.
Yeah, but the IPA has no bug fix releases, right? Just stable.
Ironic Python agent has also bug fix branches. Yes.
Okay, it has bug fix branches too. Okay, that I didn't know. Okay. Yeah. Good. Okay.
Quick question. So what's the notion of the bug fix branches? I mean, if you have a bug, for example, in release 23, you would make a bug fix branch with the fix based on release 23, and then you would keep it there until you're supporting 23 Dodo? Like, what's the life cycle of the bug fix?
Okay,
branch?
yeah.
Yeah.
I was a bit confused. So life cycle of bug fix branch is usually 6 months.
All right. Hey, 6 months.
Like
How
at the
can
moment.
you?
Sorry.
I mean, how can we just define 6 months? Because what if the user doesn't upgrade?
Well, consider that you also have the stable branches. So you actually have, for each cycle, I'm talking about ironic, of course, but for each cycle you have one stable branch and 2 bug fix branches, intermediate. So you actually have multiple opportunities to upgrade. And it's it's made clear that the bug fix branches are just intermediate releases. They're kind of lightning fast upgrade or something like that, because they come out every 3 months.
All right. It's like multiple bug fixes are sort of all put on the same intermediate bug fix branch. If I understood correctly, because you said there's 2 bug fix branches.
For each development cycle, yes.
For each development cycle. Okay. Yeah.
So you have
And-
bug fix stable, bug fix stable.
Right. Okay. 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 Makes sense. Makes sense.
Yep.
And this is true for Metal3 Ironic Image and Metal3 IPA.
This is for Ironic Python agent, and Ironic inspector in Ironic upstream. For Ironic image is also the same, but it's tied only to Ironic because we don't use Ironic inspector anymore.
Makes sense. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah.
Thanks for the notes.
Yeah. No problem. Yeah, I think we have to do this. I will create a ticket for us who deal with CI. This job and family of scripts are just now being moved, and then they will be restructured. So it's a good time to then think about this. But I think this will be inevitable to have it pinned and hosted by us. The pinning of the constraints, I can see it only as like we would pin them into either to the project infra, or we would put them in a file in the Ironic image.
So you already have that in Ironic image. What you need, you need that. You need one in IPA downloader.
Also in the downloader. Okay, because what I was thinking,
Yeah.
so what I was just thinking about is that, okay, we have it for the Ironic image, but the upper constraints for the Ironic image are the same for the IPA also?
They are the same, yes.
Okay,
so
okay.
I know what you're thinking. Yeah, having one point, like one source of truth would be better, of course. Yeah, I mean, we can define that. Having that in IPA downloader or Ironic image, as far as they're the same, because again, it needs to happen at the same time, right? So they need to be the same.
Yeah. Okay, I will write down a few notes. So, and then the IPA downloader has different constraints compared to the other two, right?
So IPA downloader, it should be the same, but I don't remember the mechanism to actually install. I need to double check because it's been a while now that I checked IPA downloader, because we don't use that anymore downstream. I need to double check that. But
Yeah.
in general, upper constraints is the same either for Ironic or Ironic Python agent.
Yeah, okay.
I just need to see how this is built, because this is just the downloader. We're not building anything
Yeah.
here, right?
Yeah, we are not.
So yeah, so I need to see I don't remember if we publish, because if we publish the Ironic Python agent RAM disks, yeah, we're taking this from, I think we're taking this from.
Yeah, the default, yes. This is the default place.
Exactly. So we're taking that from upstream.
Yep.
And I need to double check if we are still publishing the Ironic Python agent RAM disks for the bugfix branches. If we're doing that, we can modify. Yeah, you see you have an IPA branch there, variable. That could be probably set to bugfix, and then the version that you need. And yeah, we're still doing the no, we're not, because I don't see the newest one. Oh no, yeah, there you are. No, we don't. We just we dropped the bugfix ones. We have only stable and master. So yeah, either we build them downstream or yeah, I need to double check and see if we can actually publish again the bug fix IPA upstream.
Yeah, I mean, if there is no option to have it stored here, as I said, then we can step in and do it here. So no
okay.
worries.
All right.
Good. That few other notes. Okay. Yeah. So I think this is yeah, this is improper constraints are the same as the ironic image.
Yes.
As the ironic image. Or still you. If on what's this one, if on what's the take this is pinned. This is the simple version. Yes, so we can take over there. And in any scenario, IP downloader has to be released. So if we start pinning the IP downloader needs releases, right?
Yeah. Well, that depends because the IP downloader is just downloading the image. So if we don't publish the bug fix RAM disk upstream, maybe we can bypass that in some way, like overriding the IPA branch variable, for example, and just building that for us.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there are alternative ways to put there an IPA into the /ops/metalcube dev and share it there. But if we would still like, it's easy to actually, if we just release the IPA downloader, we will have a proper tag for it, and then we can have this base URL, like the default IP base URL, just pinned to one of the, like for example to this one or whichever one in the release. So then no need to do really complicated things. It's easy, and then it's very like easy to follow then, compared to like an alternative way of providing the IPA images. And because right now there is actually no one in really charge of the IP images. So the BMO doesn't care, the ironic image doesn't care. It's always just the IP downloader who cares about that. They just care that you have provided it somehow, it's available. So I think it's a good place to pin here. It's for me that's the cleanest way. And then of course these are configurable. Yeah. So if you work with Devam, you can even today override this and yeah. Okay. Okay, I will have to write an answer here because or where was that? Where was this discussion? No, anyways, the discussion you had with Tuomo, because I think we don't have to overthink it there, but these things that you brought up for the IPA, that's very important, because yeah, really, if we still support that old ironic images and we are using the newest IPA for them, it's actually surprising that it is not broken yet, now that I think about it. Okay, is there any other questions or comments related to this? Something that I should write down for this? Okay, if nothing, then we can continue. Is there any other discussion topics you folks would like to discuss? If not, then I think we have to do some triaging, but it will be short. I already checked most of these. We have, I think, three or four of these. There was a request from Tuomo to keep in the background testing the kind-based deployments for the devenv, because we still try to keep them still try to keep them supported, but it won't be the default for any distro, and we just don't want it to rot. So I think it's fine. Not really something that I can argue with. And I will take out the help, take that, or put that the help label also. Docker restart fails in BMO E2E. Yes. I think I know what's this, or I mean what this refers to. This happens in the node image, if I remember correctly, when you boot the node images, and then you have to restart the Docker because some configuration is modified. Yeah, we had similar issues in the past. It's usually timing related. For example, it was restarted together with multiple other services, and then that caused it to fail because the dependency wasn't present by the time the container runtime needed it. So that will be something similar to that. Ironic image can't use to be. I don't understand this.
Yeah, me neither.
Okay, let's skip this. I will come back to this and ask for some clarification. So if images are not in the HTML images, that means that they were not downloaded. I mean, you just put them there. And that's what the devenv is doing. It just puts them there.
Yeah, I don't get the creation of the pod. I mean, that should be automated.
Yeah, I think the pod is created just fine, but it cannot serve the images because they are not in their place. Yeah, and if I remember I'm not sure, but if I remember correctly, in the devenv, it's us, like the devenv scripts that pull it down, the big QCOW images or raw images. So yeah.
Yes.
I think the answer here is that this has to be provided by the user or by whatever script they are using. I will answer that. Yeah, if I don't forget, I will link the relevant scripts here. This is not an actual issue, I think, at least not this description. And then there is make boot MAC address optional. Oh, wow. You can't register the ironic, the IPA without that. Yeah, that's one thing. Yeah. I would even suspect that this might not work because of the hardware also, but who knows? It might have been supported. Yeah. And it completely doesn't work if you do iPixie booting. Yes. Pixie components. Okay, I see. Yeah. So I guess the registration would go by UID or by this auto discovery of the ports or network interfaces. Well, okay. I'm fine with this. But this might cause some confusion with the users. But okay. Okay, this is fine. I actually checked this too. I have collected some of the relevant PRs from the past for this. Yeah, this one. No, I actually don't need it. It's fine. Yes, I'm fine with this too. And I think that was all. I think I wrote my answer here. Also, I will put an invalid label on this just to not mix it with other stuff. Okay, someone had a chat message. Yeah. Okay, so I think that's all for the triage stuff. Let me quickly check the stale. Flaky test can go to stale. Get the bond interface thing. This can go to frozen. Yeah, I tried to already move this to frozen, but we had an issue with the prow. Leonard and others have moved the prow into a new location, so there were some minor outages at NOF last week, and then this was blocked. Okay. Flaky test. This is something that we had no communication on. This can get closed. I will link here the DevEnview EFI stuff, but this is not relevant now. Okay, so these were all the stairs and frozen and the ones that need the triage. Is there any other topic that we should discuss? Any question, comments? It was quite long. We went into the IP and direct image for a long discussion. If there are no other topics or questions or anything, then thank you for your time. Sorry, it was a bit longer than usual. And then let's meet next time and continue the good discussions. Yeah. Until then, have a nice week. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Thanks.